What is up, everybody? It is GB here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Godzilla vs. Kong, and we're going to be doing a spoiler review on it. I finally got the chance to watch the movie today, so I'm going to be doing a spoiler review on it. So this is just, to let you guys know that if you guys don't want any spoilers on the movie, not to watch this video. But if you guys do want spoilers and have seen the movie, feel free to watch it and let's get into it. So this is my review. So starting off, we got a glimpse of Kong, who is apparently on Skull Island, but he's technically looking around and seeing what is up because he finds something different. In the movie, he throws a huge tree at the top of the sky, and apparently it has this weird shield, and he found out that he's under this basically monarch outpost that they post a dome around his he's in a type of enclosure. So they basically have Kong in Skull Island, but they put him in some sort of enclosure, so he's trapped in there and he's trying to find a way out. And we see that he's very aggressive and he's confused and angry. And then we get to know this the little girl who is apparently has some sort of bond with Kong, and she communicates with Kong through sign language and stuff. And apparently Kong is the only one that will actually listen to her, so she is some sort of a friend to Kong. And we then see some interactions with other characters like Dr. Andrews, and then they're talking about Kong is wanting to get out of the enclosure, but they're saying that if he does, where would he go? Because Godzilla would track him down, because Godzilla is the alpha titan now. So if he were to get off of Skull Island, then he would run into Godzilla, which then later on we meet Dr. Nathan. We then see Godzilla later on attack an Apex facility, and we get into the characters of Walter Simmons and I believe Serizawa's son, and it causes a whole little crazy attack on the Apex facility from Godzilla as he is trying to find out what's going on. He finds out something is very suspicious going on, and it leads to an Apex facility. As I mentioned in my other videos, that Apex is probably the the villain of this the villain corporation in this movie, and Godzilla is right on tracks because Apex is creating a weapon, and that weapon is Mechagodzilla. So that is why Godzilla is so agitated, and he is attacking these facilities, and he's attacking all these all these different Apex outposts around the world. So that's why. And we get we run into Madison and her father, and they are talking about why Godzilla is attacking. And apparently we meet this guy before that happens. We meet this guy named Bernie Hayes, who is working in the Apex facilities, and he's trying to track down basically what type of secret project they're cooking up in the Apex facilities, and that is Mechagodzilla. So he does find out some stuff, and he posts it on his podcast, which Madison then listens to, and then she tells her father about it, that Godzilla is getting provoked into attacking. He's not attacking because he's turned on the humans. He's attacking for a reason. But Mark doesn't listen to her daughter Madison, to his daughter Madison, and Madison just walks out. And then she creates a team with Joss, one of her friends, and then she also meets with Bernie, and they head out. So then going back to basically Ren Serizawa, he's right here. This is during the attack of Godzilla. You can see him on trying to get away with a chopper with Walter Simmons. So they're heading out of the impact zone because Godzilla is attacking the Apex facility. And then we move on to the other group, the Kong group, basically with Dr. Andrews, the little girl, and who else was it? Blah 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 blah. What was his name again? Dr. Nathan. There you go. That's his name. So these guys are basically Team Kong. They're basically watching Kong and following his movements. They have him, and we see Kong. Basically, they moved Kong from Monarch because after this incident with right after the attack, basically Walter Simmons and Ren Serizawa, they go talk with Dr. Nathan, and they're saying that we can go to the Hollow Earth, and we need Kong to, and Dr. Nathan recommends that we could get Kong to help us get to the Hollow Earth so that they can get basically what turns out to be the weapon. Kong has the Kong axe, so they can stop Godzilla. But Walter and Ren Serizawa, they have a different idea of why they want to. They have a different reason of why they want to go to the Hollow Earth, because in order for Mechagodzilla to be fully functional. So then we after that scene, we then see them basically Dr. Nathan talks with Dr. Andrews, tells her that we should get Kong because of this research. So they do that, and they move him onto the ship, which this scene pops up. Kong is wondering why is he in chains, and this is why they're transporting him so that they can follow his lead to the Hollow Earth. But then this all 1 minute, my picture. Okay, yeah. Then this all turns into havoc because Godzilla arrives on the scene because he found out that there's another Titan, or a king Titan. Basically, Kong is a king and he bows to no one, so he wants Kong to bow to Godzilla because Godzilla is the Alpha Titan. He's a new king near the end of Godzilla King of the Monsters. So Godzilla comes in, he attacks the Navy and goes after Kong because he finds him as a threat, and a lot of stuff happens here. We then see the attack. They both Godzilla basically flips over the carrier, and then once the carrier's back into position, he then jumps on the carrier with Kong throwing an uppercut on Godzilla, and then Godzilla basically slaps the shit out of him. It slaps the shit out of Kong, and Kong gets knocked out. Then they're fighting for a good while. We see a good action scene right here, one of my favorite battles in the movie. Godzilla is basically throwing down, pummeling both of these guys are pummeling each other, and then Godzilla throws them in the water, and this is where stuff gets down the hill for Kong, because this is basically Godzilla's advantage, water. So Kong is basically drowning, and then what basically Dr. Andrews says is that Kong needs help, so she tells the captain of the ship to throw in some bombs or whatever, and that kind of helps Kong to get out of Godzilla's grip from the water, and he gets back on the carrier, and basically he passes out. And then she's like, we need to do something about Godzilla, so turn off the engines. And then they do turn off the engines, and that's basically kind of gives Godzilla the sense that Kong has given up and he has bowed down, but technically he has not. These are the humans' ideas so that Godzilla can go away, so then they could continue their plans with Kong. So then Godzilla does go away, he ends up swimming away, and then Kong is basically passes out, and technically in this round Kong lost, and round 1 goes to Godzilla. So next we see they are trying to send Kong to the Antarctic from air, because if they do it from the sea, Godzilla's gonna find out something's up again. So they basically carry him through the air, and they send him to Antarctica, where they are then taking Kong to the Hollow Earth. So basically we see an introduction before briefly of, we also see Walter Simmons, I didn't mention this, Walter Simmons' daughter, Maya Simmons, on the carrier with Dr. Andrews and all the our Team Kong characters. So they are there, and she's like, I have these heaves, I think they're called, some sort of pilot, air some sort of jets or something that are able to withstand the gravitational pull of the Hollow Earth. So it's like a stable journey for them. So they follow Kong down. The little girl's in sign language saying you can find more of your kind down there. So then Kong listens to her, and then he goes down the cave entrance to the Hollow Earth. And then once they're at the Hollow Earth, Kong is runs into the war bats, and this is where we see another fight scene. Kong basically destroys the war bats. He basically beats the crap out of them, literally. We almost see Kong dying, but then we almost see Kong something happening to him, but then the humans interfere and attack the war bat, and then Kong breaks his wings, breaks the war bat's wings, and then chops off his head and then starts eating it, and that's his victor right there. So then we then see Kong going further into the Hollow Earth. He finds like some sign of his kind, and he opens into a doorway, and basically it's like a whole throne room of Kong's, like his ancestors. So he finds the axe weapon inside that throne room, and then something's up. So Maya Simmons then turns on against the Team Kong group, basically Dr. Nathan and Andrews, and she's working with her father, Walter Simmons, to get basically a sample of what they want the axe. Like the axe has like some type of thing in order to go against Godzilla, to have like a better chance of fighting him. So because that way they can complete the process of getting Mechagodzilla, and Mechagodzilla is getting like basically a power boost that's gonna easily destroy and like beat the shit out of Godzilla, because Mechagodzilla was a huge threat, and I will explain that later on about his abilities, because he has he really almost like killed Godzilla if it wasn't for Kong, and I will explain that later on. But we see Maya Simmons attack the group, and then she sends the sample like through like some signal, like they download the sample through download or something like that, and her father gets it, and they're able to control, get the sample for the Mechagodzilla. So then something happens with the human characters. They get into a fight, and she's about to escape, but then her team gets captured by Kong, and he just like smushes them in their hands, like the little helicarrier, like helicraft or something they have. He basically like destroys it, and yeah, so she's gone, she's dead. And then Kong gets attacked by these little like Titan creatures, and he's fighting in his basically his throne room. So then we go back into basically we switch around with the other characters. We see Walter Simmons and Ren Sarasawa. They're at the Apex facility in Hong Kong, and they're talking about Mechagodzilla. So basically Ren Sarasawa, he has like this helmet that helps him control Mechagodzilla, and about that the thing I told you about, like where they got the sample, that's basically like a power source to help give maximum charge to the Mechagodzilla. That way that Mechagodzilla can have enough power without depleting out of power. So that's what they were after the whole time. Apparently that doesn't work out for them. We see our other characters. We see Bernie, Josh, and Madison. They stumble upon the Mechagodzilla Lair, and this is basically where we see Mechagodzilla arise, and he is they're testing his abilities by attacking, like they captured like skull crawlers. Apparently Apex Facility has captured skull crawlers, and they're basically like fodder for Mechagodzilla, and he's like just pummeling, like it's like a training session basically for Ren Sarasawa to see the impact and ability of Mechagodzilla, how well he is to fight against Godzilla. So basically Mechagodzilla just shreds through that scroll crawler decoy or fodder, and that scroll crawler just cuts in half, like with Mechagodzilla's laser beams. Like Mechagodzilla's atomic beam just shreds through that scroll crawler, and it works out. So then our three characters, Bernie, Madison, and Josh, they get captured. They get found out by the spotted by the Apex Facility military people and all that. And then Walter's like, you're Mark's daughter, and we are creating basically Walter's creating Mechagodzilla so that the humans could go back to being the top of the Apex predators in there. They don't want Godzilla to be the top, they want the humans back up. So we see basically a glimpse of Mechagodzilla right here, his eyes and all that, him powering up through Sarasawa. We see as I said, Walter Simmons' daughter basically gives them the stuff they needed for that power source for Mechagodzilla, and she dies. And this is where Godzilla then intervenes, because Godzilla senses Kong senses something off. So he basically because of, you can say that like the axe kind of like gives Godzilla some sort of sense, since the axe is basically Godzilla's like spinal his spinal dorsal plate. So when Godzilla does the atomic breath, that's when the axe starts charging up. Once he's doing that atomic breath, and he notices that something's up. he can sense Kong. So then we see, we go to Godzilla right there, and then Godzilla's at Hong Kong. This is near the end, the final battle is gonna happen. Godzilla attacks Hong Kong. People are thinking that he's turning against humanity, but technically he's trying to find Mechagodzilla, who is underneath Hong Kong. And but he stumbles upon Kong, as I mentioned before, since he can tell by the dorsal plate of his some sort of connection. So he basically shoots down a atomic breath beam down underneath Hong Kong, and it hits all the way through the hollow earth, and Kong and Godzilla meet with each other. So then this is where the Hong Kong battle goes. This is round 2. So we see then later on in the battle, Kong is fighting with Godzilla and Godzilla is fighting with Kong. We see the battle go down. Kong has the upper hand here because of the the little dorsal, his battle axe he has, and because it can repel Godzilla's atomic breath. It basically knocks that, like, once he's about on here on this photo, you can see it's repelling the atomic breath, and then some like huge shockwave happens. They both fly up. Godzilla's knocked out for like a couple seconds. Kong is knocked down for a couple seconds, but then he gets back up and goes through like some smoke panel, some huge smoke screen, and he gets on top of a building. And once Godzilla's back up, he's trying to find where Kong went. Kong then jumps off that building, attacks Godzilla, and then I believe then later on, Godzilla spamming his atomic breath to hit Kong, and he does hit Kong in the back. And then you can see something cool because they kind of show some like more characteristic into like creating Godzilla as an actual animal. You can see Godzilla grinning that he actually hit Kong. It's pretty crazy. Kong is like down for the count. He's getting beat up. He's smashing Godzilla through buildings. They're both smashing each other through buildings. Apparently Godzilla then gets the upper hand. He throws down Kong on the floor and then steps on Kong, and he's like, you know what, it's time for you to stand down. I am your rightful king. And right here we see basically them roaring off at each other, and Godzilla has basically his whole foot on Kong. And Godzilla is way more heavier than Kong, so he's like, Kong isn't backing down. He pummels on Kong. Godzilla then pummels on Kong with his foot, right near his chest where his heart is. And Kong basically is like very weak, and Godzilla's like, oh, you know what, you're already dying, because Godzilla really hit him real hard. And apparently Kong is dying because his heartbeat was slowing down. So Godzilla backs away, and then we enter Mechagodzilla. And once we see the Walter Simmons get hold of that power source, apparently he tells Serizawa to go back into your seat and wear your little link up with Mechagodzilla technically. But apparently that doesn't work out because the power source is too much and it overloads everything, and then Mechagodzilla has his own conscience. We see that Mechagodzilla then, when he's in his own conscience, he attacks Walter, Madison, Josh, and Bernie. Apparently Walter dies. Walter Simmons gone, so one of the villains is gone. And it's Serizawa, because of the power source overloading, he gets a huge shock because he's connected through a helmet. And I don't know if Serizawa actually died or not, because they don't further go into it, but seeing that huge shock, he's probably dead anyways. So then Mechagodzilla is now in control of everything. He is now his own consciousness, and he breaks out of the facility. Godzilla is now about a showdown with with a Mechagodzilla. So Mechagodzilla runs towards Godzilla. Godzilla runs towards Mechagodzilla, and Mechagodzilla here is apparently beating the crap out of Godzilla because he has a little advantage. He has he has the same little amplifier ability that Kong's axe has. So whenever he's throwing punches, they're kind of like super amplified, and they're basically like stopping Godzilla and hitting him real hard because they're like basically it's kind of like repelling basically Godzilla's atomic breath. So it's doing a lot of damage on him, and they get into you see Mechagodzilla just slamming and throwing Godzilla around in the movie, in the fight scene. Godzilla's like not even having a chance through it, and it cuts halfway through the battle. It cuts through back to Kong. Basically Dr. Nathan, the little girl, goes up to Kong. She feels something's wrong, like he's dying. His heart rate is getting slower. So Dr. Andrews tells the only way we can bring back Kong back to normal is if we get like some big shock. Dr. Nathan comes up with the idea of using their one of the helicrafts that Maya Simmons had, and Walter Simmons gave them. Apparently that he programs it to give it a shock on Kong, and it brings Kong's heart rate back up, and he wakes up. The little girl says that while Godzilla, then it cuts back to in between, showing Godzilla basically getting pummeled down by Mechagodzilla, and you see like a huge beam struggle happen, like both Mechagodzilla and Godzilla shooting their atomic beams, and apparently Mechagodzilla has more of a more power, so he basically, his beam over struggles Godzilla's beam, and then Godzilla gets knocked back. Mechagodzilla's about to finish him off, and he sees Kong. It cuts back up to Kong, and the little girl is saying, Kong, Godzilla's not your enemy, it's actually Mechagodzilla is your true enemy, so you have to help out Godzilla. And we cut back into the fight with Mechagodzilla and Godzilla. So Godzilla is about to die here. We see the same thing. Apparently they bring in like an Easter egg from the original Godzilla 2014 movie. We see near the end with Godzilla with the female Muto, he opens up her jaw and throws an atomic breath down her throat. So that's what Mechagodzilla's about to do. He's trying to pry open Godzilla's jaw, and he was about to do it. He was about to throw a beam down there until Kong comes out of nowhere, jumps on Mechagodzilla and attacks Mechagodzilla, and Godzilla is also attacking. They're both double teaming on Mechagodzilla. You see Kong getting thrown on one side, Godzilla getting thrown, and they're both attacking each other. And then Godzilla is down a little for right now, like for a couple seconds, and then Mechagodzilla focuses on Kong because Kong has that axe, and you see like a huge basically Mechagodzilla has like some sort of like drill on his tail, and we cut back into our Godzilla team, Madison, Josh, and Bernie. They're back up. They're trying to shut down Mechagodzilla because they know that he's a huge danger. So they're trying to crack down, like, oh, Madison is screaming Kong is in trouble. He's about to get his eye, like his whole face like drilled up, like effed up, because Mechagodzilla has him pinned down. He's about to like drill his face up with his tail. So Madison's like, do something, and Josh like throws like some liquid on the components, and it messes up with some of Mechagodzilla's like consciousness and electrical, like his electrical parts. So he's like glitching out a little, and then Godzilla sees the opportunity to shoot an atomic breath at the axe, and basically the axe is then powered up. We see like the axe is now powered up with the atomic breath. Kong comes out, and Kong starts like beating the crap out of Mechagodzilla, tearing his like arms up, his legs up, his whole body parts up, like his whole robotic parts up. And you can see like in this scene, like right here, the screenshot, you can see Mechagodzilla like basically armless, and he's like trying to fight his way out, but that axe is like so overpowered that Kong is like just tearing through it. Kong then finally takes down Mechagodzilla. He beheads him basically, and Mechagodzilla is defeated. So everyone then starts cheering. Madison meets with her father. They start giving hugs, and then everyone else is talking about how everything is now okay. We won. And then Godzilla roars out of nowhere. So Godzilla comes, like he's fighting in the scene right here. This is near the end of the scenes, near the end of the movie. So Godzilla is roaring at Kong. Kong has the axe in his hand. They're about to fight again, but then Kong's like, you know what? I guess I'll have to bow down, because Kong already got his ass beat by Godzilla. And he's like, you know what? Godzilla's just too strong. He throws down his axe. Godzilla sees it as a sign of obedience, so he backs out and then goes into the ocean, and everything is fine. So then we cut to Kong back into the Hollow Earth. This is basically his new home, and he is jumping through vines and stuff, and he's jumping around. We see the characters, the little girl, we see Dr. Andrews, Dr. Nathan. They have a new outpost down in the Monarch outpost down in the Hollow Earth, to check on Kong once in a while, and he's doing well. He's all happy and stuff, and then the movie ends. So that is basically my whole movie review. I know it's around the place, but it was a lot of stuff going on here, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I didn't mention this, but I think I forgot. But I didn't make a Mechagodzilla is technically King Ghidorah theory, and apparently that theory was true. Basically, when Ren Zarazawa was connecting through Mechagodzilla in order to control him, they were using the beheaded head of Kevin from the Godzilla versus King Ghidorah fight scene in the ocean. And remember in the end credits they had a beheaded King Ghidorah head. They basically used that to basically create some sort of connection with the Mechagodzilla project and Mechagodzilla's robot with Mechagodzilla technically. So yeah, King Ghidorah was related to Mechagodzilla, and apparently my theory was on point. And it was pretty crazy that the theory that a lot of some fans also guessed that King Ghidorah was Mechagodzilla was correct, and my video was on point. But it was huge. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think about it. Once again, if it was all over the place, I am terribly sorry about that. It was my first time making a review on this. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to comment down below. Comment down below if you guys really how you thought about the movie, like the video, and feel free to hit a subscribe, and I'll see you guys on another. And I will maybe do a a non-spoiler review too, but I'll I have to see about that. Making a little more on to the point and a little shorter than this review, because this review was a little over the place. It was all around the place, kind of a little messy, but I'll do my best for that one. And yeah, I'll see you guys in our next video, and yeah, peace out.